Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm here with UFC President Dana White. And Dana, a lot going on. This is a special fight, I feel, for Nick Diaz. I've followed him for a long time. I feel like it's a great chance for him to get reintroduced to the UFC and prove himself to a lot of people. But what does BJ Penn have to gain from beating Nick Diaz?
Well, if you look at it this way, Nick Diaz was the guy who was supposed to be fighting Georges St-Pierre for the title. And obviously a win. Now for BJ to beat the guy who was supposed to fight for the title, be a big win for BJ.
And you believe then BJ would get another run at the title? I mean, we know what happened with him and Georges St-Pierre before.
I don't know. We'll see. You know, obviously Diaz would jump right into a title position. We'll see what happens with BJ.
Like I said, I've followed a lot of Nick's fights, but do you feel that he's misunderstood or misrepresented? People like to make jokes. Did he get here on time? Did he do this and did he do that? How do you really feel about how people think of him?
He's not misunderstood at all.
Oh, okay.
He's, you know, the thing is with Nick is it is what it is. And he's been awesome throughout this whole thing. He missed his first flight, caught one the same day, and then since he's been here, my staff has just said early to everything, you know, on time. And even today, the thing that kind of bummed me out a little bit is the press will bitch about him not being there, and then when he gets here, they start like busting his balls about, you know, you didn't do that. Dude, I'm here. I'm here today. What do you want to ask me about the fight? It's like they want to. That's the kind of shit that the kid. See, you have to understand. A guy like Nick Diaz comes from he has a different mentality, and believe me, I've known a lot of Nick Diaz's in my life, and they come from a different place than me and you do, man. Nick Diaz is one of those guys that will get up and walk over there and slap you. He is one of those guys, you know what I mean? So trying to contain Nick Diaz and trying to, you know, have him hang out here and be normal in a press conference situation when you got somebody over there saying stupid shit to him, it's, you know, it's tough. It's one of those things you gotta try to balance as a promoter, and we deal with all kinds of different personalities and stuff here, so you know that kind of bums me out. Listen, Nick Diaz is here. Ask him questions about the fight. He didn't show up for the last press conference. We all know that. He's here today.
Right. Well, and yeah, and people go, well, I wonder why he's so defensive.
And he's been reprimanded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He went from fighting for the title to fighting in the co-main event, which ends up being the main event. But you know, he's been reprimanded. Everybody's done their stories. Where's Nick and all this stuff? He's here today. He's here to fight. Ask him questions about the fight. Don't. Let's not. You know, you want him at the next press conference, then don't start saying stupid shit to him. You know.
Well, he said he was a little upset when BJ signed for this fight because they are friends. You know, they trained together before. So, what was that phone call like to BJ?
That whole thing's a whole nother situation. I don't know. Listen, that's between Nick and BJ. Whatever. You know. I don't know.
Okay. You can take a pass on that.
They're both out there, man. But I like this fight. I like this fight. You know, the way that these two both walk into the octagon, the way they are when they're in there, and obviously the way they fight. They're both guys that try to finish, and I think it's going to be a war.
Let's talk about Matt Mitrione in Czech Congo. It's kind of the same question I asked about BJ, but it seems that Matt has more to gain from a win on Saturday night.
I don't know. If you look at Congo, you know, Congo's last fight with Barry, tough fight, he pulls out in spectacular fashion. I think Mitrione is the guy right now that everybody's looking at. Mitrione's the big up-and-coming, you know, he's hot right now. So I think a win over Mitrione would be big for Congo.
And I know we don't know who's going to be the heavyweight champ in a few weeks. You know, that could change hands, but obviously Congo did very well against Cain Velasquez before lost, but won all 3 rounds.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
That fight was a war.
So maybe again he'll get a chance, Schick, if he wins?
I don't know. You know I don't like to do that until we'll see how everything goes down.
How do you feel about the fact that it could be Cro Cop's last fight? You know, he talked very highly about you guys, saying you've treated him like a king. Do you want to see him go? It sort of seemed like you did before think that it was time for him to stop.
I thought Cro Cop was amazing here today at this press conference. It was very cool. All the things that he said, you know, stuff like him saying, I'll never forgive myself for the way I performed here in the UFC. Just shows you what a warrior this guy is and how much it means to him. And, you know, he wasn't here for paychecks. It was, you know, I respect that. And the thing about me thinking Cro Cop should retire is because, you know, when you get 37, 38 years old and you've had the type of career that he's had, this is a young man's game. And it's like, why? What's next? You know, and I think I finally figured out the why for Cro Cop. He wants to perform here. He wants to have some good performances here in the UFC before he wraps it up. So I'm very curious about, you know, I'm very curious to see how this fight goes down and what happens after.
Now, you've signed some big deals for the UFC with Globo in Brazil, right? So that's a big new deal in terms of distribution for you?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know where that came from today. There was a girl here from Brazil that put out the whole Globo thing. She saw the Globo guy at the airport or something. I don't know, but there's an ambulance here now. Let's move on to the next question.
Okay. Well, you did mention in the press conference, though, that Japan, China, India, and where else am I supposed to be getting my passport ready for?
Yeah, that's about it. I think Korea, Japan, India, China. Obviously, we're going back to Brazil. We're working on France. So over the next couple of years, we're going to hit all these places that we've never been before. And it's going to be, get ready, you guys. You're going to put on some air miles. We're going everywhere. Nice.
Have you heard any good rumors lately?
Any good rumors?
Yeah, about the UFC, about some things that might be happening on some of your shows?
No. Why?
Okay, well, yeah, I know. I heard a rumor that the whole John Jones and Rashad movement of those fights and the timing of getting John another one fast and letting Rashad heal was that you plan to have them as the coaches on the first live Ultimate Fighter.
Not true.
Not true.
Not true.
Good idea, though, huh?
Yeah. Good. You know. Yeah. I'd love to sit here and tell you that I think things out that much and go, here's what we'll do. This. Not true. We literally have no idea who will coach the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. We're still hammering through the format and all the changes we're making in the show.
It's not a terrible idea, though. Last question.
No, it's not. It would be good, except for the fact that Rashad would have to sit out another 13 weeks or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
That's true. And last question, is Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva going to happen?
I'm working on it this weekend. I'm working on that fight this weekend. The thing is with Anderson is, you know, he's really upset with some of the stuff that Chael said, and he feels that, you know, he shouldn't have to fight this disrespectful punk and stuff. My philosophy is punch him in the face. He said all this bad stuff about you. You know, you should want to fight him. So we'll see.
All right, well, thank you, and congrats on putting together another good show. Good save with BJ and Nick.
Thank you. Appreciate it.